Someone's wild and unruly behavior has been affecting you, Libra. Spirit's coming through with some advice as to how to handle them moving forward. Hey Libra, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is a timeless reading for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or wherever Libra falls in your chart. Crosswatchers also welcome. And my intention for this reading is to help you come into better alignment with your highest good in this moment. Let's see what's going on with Libra. Starting off your reading, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. All is not well in paradise. There's some disillusionment that's been going on. Perhaps a realization that everything wasn't as rosy as it seemed. I feel like this is someone, if not someone that you've known for a long time, it certainly felt that way. It felt like you'd lived lifetimes with this person, and the level of trust was very strong. And I think it's potentially that trust that has the shine off the apple, so to speak. The trust was broken in some way. The challenge being the Knight of Wands in reverse. There could have been some infidelity or some selfish, problematic behavior. This could be someone just behaving very selfishly. We could have an addiction at play. Someone being wild and unruly in a way that disturbs the peace. Show me Libra's focus. King of Cups. If this is the one and the same, if these people, the person represented by the Knight of Wands in reverse energy and the King of Cups energy are one and the same, I feel like that's pretty a problematic combination. It could be that there's someone that you feel deeply in love with and you want to believe the best of them, perhaps because of their potential, perhaps because of the way that they behave a lot of the time, is in keeping with this King of Cups energy. Emotionally mature, responsible, takes your feelings into account, doesn't have emotional outbursts. Whereas this Knight of Wands energy has definite emotional outbursts. They're like a one big walking emotional outburst. So, yeah, all is not as it seems in paradise. The King of Cups energy could be your energy facing this situation. You could be centered and not wanting to be okay, let's say you're in a turbulent ocean because this person is stirring up all sorts of nonsense. Then you're well anchored, you've battened down the hatches, you are in a safe and secure approach to face this situation and come out relatively unscathed. I don't feel like the Knight of Wands necessarily has the power to really bring any lasting harm to you. I think it's a disappointment, and it's definitely hurting your feelings because you expected better from that. You know you deserve better. I can't tell yet whether you see them as redeemable and better than that, or if you see their behavior for what it is, like a true indication of the root of their character. In the recent past, we have Six of Wands energy. Someone feeling very accomplished, relieved that some big effort is over. They feel victorious. Let me get a clarifier on this and see how it relates back to our story. Tell me more about the Six of Wands. Who is it? What have they accomplished? A sudden investment? Oh, okay. This could be like a sudden increase in value of an investment. Because we have the Tower paired with the Seven of Pentacles. Although, because it's coming out in a reading with the Knight of Wands reversed, I feel like this could be someone having a gambling problem. And this Six of Wands energy isn't necessarily someone being victorious, but it's them riding the high that they get off of taking the risk of gambling. I definitely don't like the Tower energy in this context. I mean, not that I ever really love Tower energy. Sometimes it's a nice surprise, but most of the time that shakeup is perceived in a disharmonious way. I'll put it that way. Okay, let's get more of the story out. What's the reason this is happening? Show me the crowning position. Fool energy. It's so that someone can launch off independently in a new direction. Likely you. This is your reading after all, so I want to center you in the reading. For some of you, this is a family situation, like extended family, like the family you were born into. Because I feel like a very nurturing father figure, and there's like a wayward child who is behaving erratically and getting into trouble. And perhaps you felt like there was a solution, because this Seven of Pentacles Tower moment could have been like an intervention. Like, we're going to surprise you and invest in you. And you may have felt like this intervention was a success, hence the Six of Wands energy. But then we have this kind of brokenhearted, I believed that everything was fine, how could you have let me down? Knight of Wands in reverse energy. And my sense is that that's a repeating pattern that you thought was solved. Because now that we have the Fool energy coming out in the crowning position here, the way that your spirit team and your higher self is seeing this whole situation, the silver lining or the opportunity for you here is to take a leap of faith. To leave all the trappings of life behind you and launch into something new with a spirit of faith. And I don't feel like that leap of faith is to trust someone who's burned you. I think it's to take a leap away from that person. Show me the near future. We have the Four of Pentacles. What direction do you want it? Both. Okay. I'll describe both. It came out and it laid exactly in the challenge position. So I feel like I want to describe both upright and reversed interpretations for you. So in the near future, we have you holding on for dear life to what you have, making all your resources count. Turning every penny over twice and making your resources and your funds last. Sorry. Sorry about my voice here. I'm getting over a cold. So we have the need, or the feeling that you have the need to really rein it in terms of spending, or to just be overly careful about how you use the resources that you have. Since it's coming out in the challenge position, it could be like an additional challenge in the reading, meaning that in order to make it to the next stage in your journey, resources might be scarce for a little while, but you have everything that you need if you're judicious with the use of your resources. 11:11 on my timer as I said that. You'll have everything that you need in order to make it to the next stage of your journey if you're judicious about it. Some of you run the risk, though, of relying quite heavily on an abundance mindset without respecting the importance of discipline. So if your concept of abundance mindset, like not wanting to be in a lack mindset, not wanting to be in a scarcity mindset, if part of the way you tend to keep yourself in that mindset is by spending or oversharing the resources that you have, like someone asks for help, can anyone help? Someone that you know a little bit, sure, here's $100, I'll help you through, even though you're not sure if you're gonna have $100 to pay the bills next month. If that sounds like you, if that part of the reading is resonating so far, then this card is showing up in the near future as a warning and a caution that Spirit has supplied you with all the resources you need to get yourself to the next stage of your journey. And the judicious and disciplined use of those resources is what's called for here, rather than buying things that you don't need at the moment or preparing for too far in the future. Like, I want to buy 6 months worth of paper towels. Well, maybe you just need 1 month of paper towels. Maybe that money is going to be necessary for other expenditures before you get to where you're going. Show me surprise energy. What's going to impact the situation that Libra doesn't see coming? We have Justice in reverse. You may not find a resolution that is as amicable as you're hoping. You want everyone to feel the warm fuzzies with however you leave it. And I feel like the Justice in reverse is coming through to let you know that sometimes the scales are not going to balance. And you need to be able to take care of yourself and move on and prioritize your own emotional well-being, regardless of whether or not someone else is able to emotionally regulate their own situation. Not everyone is capable or willing to do so. It's also possible that for some of you, it just won't feel fair. And I think you pride yourself on finding the fair solution as a guiding principle in life. And it's going to surprise you that either you or someone in this situation does not find it fair. Now, for the few of you where there's some sort of safety concern or legal concern, I would feel like justice in the reverse is your sense of justice not being done. So there could be another caution there, depending on how problematic this Knight of Wands character is in your story. So apply it as you see fit and take protective measures if you feel like that might be warranted to keep yourself and your family safe. But if this person hasn't already evidenced, like, I'm choosing my words carefully because of the forum that we're on, but hopefully you guys understand what I mean, that this Knight of Wands character could pose a issue for you or the people around you if they have a track record of doing so in the past. I'm not predicting a change in behavior or an escalation of that sort. But because we have, the tower moment and someone acting erratically, I feel like the justice card in reverse here could indicate an unjust or outcome, like a lack of justice being done. So for those of you who are trying to enlist the help of outside forces to bring justice to the situation, it's possible that you're going to be surprised in the miscarriage of justice. Show me hopes and fears. Okay, well, Spirit is doubling down on the potential legal aspect here. So for those of you that resonates, the Hierophant in reverse here is echoing the sentiment that I was just picking up on. However, it's coming through in your hopes and fears, meaning you're the one bringing this concern to the situation. Not necessarily that it's going to manifest, per se. Because the Hierophant in reverse is indicating that there's an institution not functioning the way that it should. In a larger, more archetypal sense, this is things not going the way that they should. The way it's supposed to be is not happening. Now pair that with the Four of Swords energy, which is a withdrawing, pulling back in order to gain perspective and heal, to rest and recuperate. I feel like you are concerned already about things not happening the way that they should, the way that they ought to, and you're predicting a need for yourself to pull back, pull away from the situation, to keep yourself healed, to keep yourself safe. A protective move. Show me how this situation resolves. Okay, some of you have been watching my channel for a while, so you know I have kind of this little Easter egg in my readings. And if you haven't been watching or you don't remember what I'm talking about, I'll forgive you because I've been on basically like a 2-year hiatus. So, but what I do in my readings is if the Ace of Swords comes out in the first position or the outcome position, I consider it to hold an additional meaning, and that it's spirit coming through to give you a very clear yes or a no based on a question that you have in mind. So if during the reading a question has formed in your mind and it has a clear yes or no answer, then you can use this as a message from spirit to answer that. If you would like to pause and come up with a question right now, that's also allowed and relevant to the way that I do this reading. So I'll reveal the position now. If it's in the upright, it's a yes, and if it's reversed, then it's a no. So we do have the Ace of Swords in the upright. So the answer to your question is yes. In context of the reading, I feel like this is clarity. This is feeling unhindered and unfettered by any sort of dark energy, any sort of wishy-washy or problematic behavior bringing you down. This is rising above that because you know the truth, because you understand something. And so it's going to have you feeling like transcendent in a way. If part of this whole situation has you waiting on an answer, the Ace of Swords in the upright indicates that the answer will be yes. So this could be like waiting on someone to decide whether or not they're going to go into rehab, or waiting on someone to decide whether or not they're going to offer you a job, or offer you the lease on the home that you want to move into. Whatever it is for your situation, the answer is indicated as a yes. Your advice, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is someone who is typically the nurturer, the mothering energy of the tarot, turning that energy toward themselves and cutting someone else off from receiving that bounty. So I feel like that's the advice for you in this reading, in this situation. You have important abilities here that are perhaps being taken advantage of, definitely valued, but I think that the move here for everyone's greater good, not just yours, is to not automatically rush to take care of the person, to clean up their mess, to heal them from a wound that they've metaphorically inflicted. The Queen of Pentacles needs to hold on to their own resources. Remember, as we were talking about with the Four of Pentacles reversed, this is kind of echoing that sentiment with this. You have everything that you need. The Queen of Pentacles is apply it to yourself, apply it to the people close to you. If you have children, if you have a partner, this is like take care of your inner circle before considering sharing any of those resources with your network or your extended circle. So Libra, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this helped. Take care, and I will see you back next time. Bye.